We are making Banana Foster's French toast. So it's like grown-up fancy French toast, but the kids will love it too, and it's really easy to make, but it's something special. I know Valentine's Day is right around the corner. I know sometimes on weekends we like to do special breakfasts in my family, so this is extra special, and it's fantastic. And it's inspired from Banana Foster. So we're going to start out with 2 sticks of butter that I'm melting over here in this pan. And growing up, my mom, when she grew up, whenever her dad would take her out to dinner and they'd go to a fancy restaurant and they saw Banana Foster's or Cherry's Jubilee on the menu, she'd always order it, you know, as a kid, so she had really fond memories of that. And that's where they kind of do it tableside, which they used to do a lot of that back in the day, where they do certain dishes tableside and make kind of a show of it. They don't do that very much anymore. Sometimes they'll do that on a cruise ship, or some restaurants do it, but not many. So to this day, whenever we go out to dinner, if I'm with my mom and she sees something like that on the menu, we always have to order it, even if we're full. It's like, no, Mom, I can't do dessert. Well, we have to get it. Because for her, I guess it just brings back a lot of great child memories. So this is kind of a fun one if you have memories of that too, where they're kind of flaming it at the table. We're not going to flame it today, but it's got a lot of those great flavors. So I'm just melting 2 sticks of butter and 2 cups of brown sugar in my skillet here. And this is going to form a wonderful kind of syrup. 1/4 cup of orange juice, just the orange juice that you're going to be drinking. You could use fresh orange juice too, but the orange juice that you're going to be having with breakfast. And then a little bit of vanilla, about a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm just going to let that, keep an eye on it, let it combine, let the brown sugar melt, and I'm going to get to work on the actual French toast. All right, for the French toast part of this, we're going to do 3 eggs. Do you like bananas, Anne?
Yes, ma'am. I find them very appealing.
Oh gosh, she said she finds them very appealing. Very funny. Got a comedian in the house today. Now we're going to do 1/2 cup of milk and 1/2 cup of heavy cream. You could do all milk if you wanted, but this is going to make this really a nice, rich custard kind of batter that we're going to be dipping our French toast in. And a little bit of cinnamon. My aunt always put a little bit of cinnamon in her French toast, and so to this day, when I'm making French toast, I do a little bit too. And you can also, this is optional, do a little bit of vanilla in the French toast batter too. If you have it anyway, why not? Just give that egg batter some great flavor. Okay, I'm just checking on our brown sugar, and ooh, starting to smell good. You can smell a little bit of the orange juice in there, and I just want to let that cook for a minute or so before we put our bananas in there. Okay. Now I like to use kind of a firmer white bread. You could use Texas toast too, but a thicker sliced bread. That's why Texas toast works out nice. But it's a little bit soft sometimes, so if you can, you know, get like a firmer white bread, even a sourdough bread, and then just cut it yourself, that really works nicely. We just picked up this bread at Festival Foods, and you see I'm cutting it myself into a little bit thicker slices. That's going to make for a nicer presentation and really nice French toast, like the kind you'd get at a restaurant. So I'm going to melt a little bit of butter into our nonstick skillet. If you have like a griddle, that works fantastic too. And this is a pretty quick fix. So this is one of those things, if you kind of wake up in the morning and you want to decide at the last minute to do a fancier breakfast, no problem. This is pretty quick, and you probably have most of the ingredients on hand except for a couple of things that we're going to get to in just a little bit. So into our egg batter, this goes. And then into our nonstick skillet or griddle. Nonstick really works best whenever you're doing dishes like this. We'll do one more piece. Okay. Now I want to turn down my banana. I'm going to kind of switch it up here, actually. Put my French toast over here. Now I'm going to cut up my bananas. So the recipe calls for 3 ripe bananas. And our sauce is just really coming together with the, kind of makes a homemade caramel, which is just delicious. And I'm just going to slice up these bananas, which are perfect. Another way to use bananas when they start to get, there's so many things you can do with them. Banana bread, banana muffins, and we've got lots of recipes in the show on how to use up those bananas that are, in need of using. But you can also throw bananas that are a little bit overripe into a bag, a Ziploc bag, and then put them in the freezer, and then use them in different recipes or smoothies. So that's a great way to use them. I hate to throw them out. So I'm just going to slice these up. And throw them into my wonderful syrup here. It's real hot, so I'm going to get that off. And they're going to cook very, very quickly. I don't want them to overcook. When they touch that real hot sugar and butter, they're actually going to cook right there. Now, if you have a gas burner, you need to be real careful when you're doing this, unless you want to kind of flame it up on purpose. But we're going to keep things nice and safe around here. And Bananas Foster traditionally has some rum in it. And we're also going to do a little bit of banana liqueur. So these are the 2 ingredients. You may have rum in your liquor cabinet somewhere, but you might not have banana liqueur. And you can pick up those little bottles. A lot of times you can find just the minis. And for a recipe like this, if you don't want to invest in a whole bottle, although it would last a while, and so if you really like this recipe, you may be making lots of Banana Foster French toast. So French toast is looking good. Just we're cooking the egg batter on both sides, and now we're going to finish up our sauce. So the recipe calls for 1/4 cup of dark rum, and again, if you're doing this over an open flame, really be careful about that. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and then a tablespoon or so of creamed banana, which is going to give it some more great flavor. You could certainly leave both those ingredients out if you don't have them or don't want to go get them. And it's still going to be wonderful with the bananas and the brown sugar and the butter. It's still going to be fantastic. No syrup necessary for this. Obviously, this is the syrup. So we're just going to take this to the plate now. And it's just, as you can see, absolutely gorgeous. French toast is cooked perfectly. And then we're going to do a little of this Banana Foster sauce, which, by the way, if there's any leftovers, it's fantastic. Refrigerate it and heat it up and put it over ice cream, which is what traditionally Bananas Foster's is served with. Yum. I know. Are you like, yeah, how yummy is this? Like I say, this is a really special breakfast treat. Something they'd serve at like a bed and breakfast or a fancy inn, and you can do it yourself at home. And then you can garnish it if you want with a little bit of powdered sugar. And then maybe a little bit of fresh mint. Although it looks pretty gorgeous as is now. So there you go. It's my Bananas Foster French toast. Just reminds me always of going out to dinner with my mom and ordering Banana Foster. And you can get the recipe on our website. You can pick it up at any area Festival Foods. There you go. It's delicious. So hopefully you'll make it this weekend or sometime soon.